What's up, LoreHounds? It's Koopa here. I'm inside the Gala Network booth. I'm here with Arash Amini, the producer for Age of Wulin, which is a martial arts game, and it's actually quite different. But let's get to the lore first. So it's set in the Ming Dynasty, and then why are we there? What's our quest objectives?
So basically, Age of Wulin is a sandbox experience for the player set around Imperial China, around the Ming Dynasty. And I guess the idea for the game is that you live your life in the environment how you like to as a player. So you can do a number of different things within the game, from professions to PvPing to questing and so on. So as a player, you basically dictate what you want to experience from the game.
Yeah, I mean, from earlier you were telling us that there's 17 different professions, and unlike most games where you're locked to 2, you can actually do all 17, and then they're all skill-based, so like the only way to get better is to just keep doing everything.
Absolutely. So throughout the game, you basically start off selecting a school. And from picking that school, you get to start with one of the defined profession types. There are 17 different professions broken down into, let's say, 4 different categories. And as a player, you're able to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or all of them if you so choose to. And the idea is that you can be a miner, for example. You can take the elements that you've mined and take them to a blacksmith and create a sword. Or you can be a blacksmith yourself and take your elements and make a sword for yourself. And it's really limitless as to where the player decides to choose to create these items or craft them, etc. It's really to do with the player and how the player wants to live their life within the game, whether they want to do all of them or just a few of them.
So you actually mentioned that there's 8 schools, and that's not really your class so much as your faction type. So how does that impact your decisions?
So as a player, as you're going through your initial experience, you have to choose a school. And from choosing the school, you have a set of defined skill types. For example, if you're a Shaolin, you're better at close-range combat. You use your bare fists or your staff, etc. And that's how you train for, and that's the school that you belong to. You can go outside and learn from skills from outside of that school, but that's basically your allegiance in the game. As a player, also, you are able to confront the NPC master of the school. And a really cool feature, I guess, is you're able to challenge and become the master of that school and lead your school in battle.
Are you able to change schools if you wanted to, or are you kind of locked into that position?
Once the player chooses a school, they are locked into that school. They're able to learn skill sets from other schools. So, for example, if I'm a Shaolin and I want to learn the Wudang martial arts, I can do that. And then I can confront a Wudang player and basically challenge them at their own game.
And for a player in the fighting aspects, when you choose a school, you mentioned that you get better at certain things. Do we get to pick whatever abilities we want and kind of build out our character that way? Is that part of the sandbox experience, or is it just specific once you... Well, you mentioned there's no level, so it can't be level 5, you unlock this.
Exactly. So the game is not level-based. You start off with some default skills, and you do some quests to unlock some new skills. And the more you train, the more you'll unlock. So, for example, you may come across a random NPC, and that's another system we'll talk about, but that NPC may offer to train you in a certain skill, and that's how you unlock the skill. And you also upgrade your inner cultivation, which is basically your chi, for example. And as you grow yourself as a character, you get to unlock new skills and so on.
It's just part of your everyday life as you skill up in those certain things. That's how you can unlock additional ones, or unlocking them through quests.
Exactly.
So back into the quests, you mentioned there's a very large random dynamic to the quest system that actually allows you to gain a sort of rapport with different NPCs.
Absolutely. So we think that this is a really cool feature of the game. The idea is that depending on how you treat NPCs throughout the game world, they'll remember you. And to take for an example, you could confront a beggar on the street, and you could give that beggar some money. Later on in the game, that beggar may confront you and say, you know, I'm an actual martial arts master, and now I'm going to train you with this unique skill. So you never know exactly how how your interactions in the game world is going to affect the outcome later on. And there are hundreds of different random events throughout the game that put you on quests or unlock certain things for you.
So you keep mentioning the way you want to live your life, and we already went over that there's 17 different professions. They all kind of intermingle, and you also discussed that there's board games, and you can kind of just chill. Like, you don't actually have to go out and fight a whole lot.
Exactly. So basically, imagine I'm a professional. I'm a fisherman. I could spend all day fishing if that's what I wanted to, and get better and better at fishing. I could also play board games if I want to, through a series of different mini games, or I could be a blacksmith and I could create weapons all day long. The player is not bound to do anything. They can live their life as they want. But I guess the idea behind it is that they start to master whatever they're doing.
And this is it's a viable gameplay option. It's not like like you can gain currency, you can actually be a usable person in the economy, and to your guild and stuff like that. You're not just kind of hamstringing yourself because you're not fighting.
Absolutely. We don't want the player to be drawn into, to be boxed into a certain area. We want the players and the community to really drive the content and how the game plays out. So eventually, the PvP runs throughout the game, and the players that want to PvP, that's cool with them. But the players that want to just do one part of the profession, for example, that's what they can do.
Interesting. So Age of Wulin, it's coming out when?
It's coming out in 2012. Currently, we're working on the website and the servers and the forums, so expect it soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.